all that they serve you are opinionated views. Don't switch on my TV, cause all they do is lie. And I don't need no programming telling me what to buy. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in war. What are the reasons why they're for? Don't believe celebrities pretending to be what they ain't. Make poverty history, they say, posing as saints. But I believe the truth will set you free. I believe the truth will set you free.
Hi guys, so can I ask you, are you scientific in any way? Do you think scientifically, or do you understand science?
Basic level science.
Yeah, basic.
Basic. If I describe natural science to you as measurable, observable, testable and repeatable, would you agree that that's the core of science?
I suppose it's if you can replicate it.
If you can replicate it.
That's what the academia would say is scientific.
Yep.
I don't have no idea what you're talking about.
No, if you can replicate something in a lab, they say this is a fact.
No, even a lab.
Anywhere.
In natural science, we can observe the real world.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Aztecs saw the sun. They said, he goes there.
Yep. Yeah. So, based on that, I'll just get straight into it and I'll ask you: do you believe that you live on a globe, a round planet, ball-shaped planet?
I would say that we were taught in school that the Earth is a sphere, a globe, but obviously for hundreds and hundreds of years before that, the assumption was that it was flat.
Can I ask you, what shape's the horizon when you look at the horizon?
It looks
Flat, isn't it?
flat. Yes, it is flat. Yeah.
Even when you go on an aeroplane?
Has it got a curvature when you're on the airplane? Because you assume it's flat, you probably tell yourself it's flat.
Because it's a globe, you're looking for curvature.
Probably are, possibly, yeah.
But some of the windows are curved and stuff.
Yeah.
What if I says to you that people send up high altitude balloons to 121,000 feet and the horizon is perfectly flat and at eye level?
Yeah, well, that would seem strange.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know how high you would have to go if it was a sphere. I don't know how high you would have to go to view it as a sphere. I suppose the guys in the what's the International Space Station? I don't know what. No, it's the International Space Station. So it's NASA. It's the Russians. When they send pictures down, if you believe it's true, that's the thing. Yeah.
That's true.
When they send pictures down, it's obviously a sphere. But if you believe that's true, yeah.
Are you aware of a thing called a fisheye lens?
Yes, I've heard of a fisheye.
Most GoPro cameras nowadays. Curves everything.
It actually, it actually curves it anyway.
So if we go back to your understanding of being able to recreate real science, showing things, do you understand water and how liquids behave?
In
reality,
in reality, you mean when they're heated and stuff like that?
No, you mean they're heated, just the behaviour of them.
Oh.
Like, what do you mean as in like throwing a stone in there and how to move and stuff?
Well, if I says this to you, do you think it would be possible for me to get a body of water and then make it conform to show the exterior of a shape? Do you think that's reality?
What do you mean by that? Do you mean if you put water into a vessel, does the water take its form?
The water will take the form of the vessel.
Yeah.
But if I try to put it on the outside of the vessel,
oh no, it's just the water's just going to run away, isn't it?
Right. So based on that simple fact alone, and we know that the Earth is 70% covered in water. Water always maintains its level. It'll always be parallel and flat from one point to the next. If not, the water will flow. So we know that, and that's testable. On the gravity on Earth, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I'd agree.
Well, because of the gravity on the Earth, then the water will be level.
Gravity or not?
Yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, it's getting
gravity is just a theory as far as
it is. Yeah,
it's
obviously.
never been. We explain things by density and buoyancy.
Yeah.
So if something's more dense, it sinks than the
Yeah.
environment that it's in.
Yeah.
If it's less, it will go up.
Yeah.
So like a helium balloon,
Yeah.
a helium balloon rises
Rises,
because the
yeah.
helium is less dense and
Yeah.
lighter than the
Yeah.
air.
It's lighter,
So you know, where is the gravity in there? You know, it's described as density and buoyancy as far
I
as I'm
wasn't
concerned.
paying that much attention
Yeah.
in elementary physics, so I couldn't argue that point with you. But I
But
will.
you-
I get what you're saying.
You know that water is always flat. When you go for a bath, you go to
On
a
Earth,
swimming
yes.
pool. On Earth,
Yes,
that's where
yes,
we live.
yeah,
That's where we live.
No, I'm just saying. You know when you see them on the space station,
Yep.
and the water, the droplets are going everywhere. And,
Yeah, but that's not
yeah,
here.
that's because of gravitational differences. Yeah.
Well, that's a contrived environment.
Yes.
But when we're dealing with the natural world, it's how does it behave here
When
in
we're
the
dealing
natural
on
world?
Earth, yeah.
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 No, I can go into a lab and make things.
Yeah.
That's not really how they behave in nature.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to establish is how do things behave naturally.
Naturally, water is flat,
Right.
regardless
So
of
you know that.
what part of the Earth I've been to.
Yeah.
I've travelled a lot.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
wherever
So
I've been,
if water's flat on Earth, then how could we be living on a sphere?
I don't know because it's
Like
like.
gravity, that's what they'd say.
Well,
That's what
I
they'll
don't
say,
know what
yeah.
they'll say. I mean,
That would be the logical thing.
yeah,
what they'd
the
say.
logical thing is the
Would be
gravitational pull of
Yeah,
the
that would be the argument that they'd say.
yeah.
They
But
say
I mean,
obviously
Then I would
because
ask them for
gravity-
one practical example
they
of
use
that.
that for
They
the.
can't show
And
me a
they wouldn't say.
practical example of that.
Science can't show you a lot of things.
Exactly.
I mean, science is just what is a fact today may not be a fact in 100
Tomorrow.
years' time.
Do you think it's concerning that there is absolutely no actual real photographs or videos from space?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Well, the images that if you go to NASA,
Yeah.
and you go to any of these institutions and you look for like images, a photograph from space or photographs of satellites in space
Yeah.
or any kind of like a photograph that we would take right here and now.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
none.
You mean like because okay, just in my head, I would say when you see a picture of a nebula, you know, like a beautiful nebula, what would you say that is?
That's a computer generated image.
Okay, yeah, it is a computer-generated image of what they perceive that it would look like because obviously they don't see the colours.
It's not really science then, it's
Yeah,
done into
it's-
religions, is it not?
Of course, but that's what science is.
Yeah, a
Science
religion.
is a religion.
Well,
Of course
I
it
totally agree.
is. You know,
Totally
I mean,
agree. But
I mean,
natural science, you know, is a science, the real core of science, which means that we can't get religious because any claim I make about reality,
Yeah.
I should be able to show you.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then we
Yeah.
can't lie to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But when I start telling you, making excuses like, oh, I need a planet in outer space, then I'm getting religious.
I kind of get I get where you're coming from. I've always had an inquisitive sort of mind.
Yeah.
So when we see something in nature, I always say, I wonder
How that
why.
was made or why
I wonder
or how.
why. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's the okay. That's
you-
a
would
pure
you-
basis of science. Yeah.
Would you agree that what I've discovered, like modern day science, it's ran by...
I am skeptic though.
It's ran by a thing called philosophical materialism, and it basically tries to
Yeah.
remove intelligent design out of the equation.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that they're always trying to explain reality and life as coming about by random
I mean,
chance. Do you think that makes sense?
Well, that's just that's Western philosophy.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
no science, is it?
It's what they say. Is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, science is what they say.
But it's a philosophical
That-
stance. It is a religion for me.
It is a religion, it is a philosophical stance, but it's sort of. I mean, their genesis was Darwin, you know, and from that's where they based their understanding of
See, people forget that
the origins of the universe.
guys like Nicholas Copernicus and Newton and all these guys were actually Jesuit priests, and people are really quick to
They're the only
forget
people that
this.
could read and write them days. Well, you know, so
Well, you
the
had
priests would.
tradespeople, you had real people who could build and construct it,
Of
and real
course.
skills.
Listen,
and-
to this day, they don't know how they built the Great Pyramid. I mean, you know, how they don't understand the math they used. So I think it is something to do with the West is always believes it knows best when it comes to science and engineering. I mean, science and engineering. So you know, it's
See, that's it. There's a real separation, though, from actually applying real science, and then it wanders into this theoretical side, where when you look for actual measurable proof in reality, it doesn't really exist. So when I look at the heliocentric globe claim, The best proof that they have are their images.
You know when you say heliocentric globe, can you say that in basic term? What do you mean by that?
Well, they say the Earth is a globe that goes
is that
round the
is
sun.
that the term?
So what
Right.
they say is the Earth goes 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Then it goes round the sun at 65,000 miles per hour, while the sun's going in a straight line or round the Milky Way at 500,000 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Now, there has never been an experiment that's proved any motion whatsoever. Have you ever felt any motion?
No, but unless it's an earthquake.
So you feel an earthquake, but you don't feel any of these incredible speeds.
Yeah, that's all based on their science.
Yeah, of course.
When you base something on when you have a genesis for something, and you have to base everything else off that, and then everything else is just a hypothesis.
Exactly.
I mean, I was talking one of my friends. I was talking to him, and he was telling me, "Oh, it's black matter, this and that, dark matter." Sorry,
Dark matter.
and I'm saying, so how do you know? Yeah, it's dark matter. He goes, well, we just hypothesize that it's dark matter. But in a few centuries' time,
So it's not really science, is it?
Yeah. No.
as I said before, it's what they call it. They call it science. I mean, science is supposed. Well, I don't know. It's supposed to be it's sort of what to me, it's like the latest fad. You know.
Yeah,
So whatever
it's the latest
they're
religion as far as I'm concerned.
It is.
You know, it's simple. You know, if we ignore the sciences and we ignore these institutions and we come to a one-to-one basis, you know, and I would say to you, by the way, I've got pink unicorns.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, show me your pink unicorns. Now, if I can't show you my pink unicorns, are you going to believe me?
Well, obviously, I'd say logically that doesn't make any
no
sense,
sense.
but you can believe what you want to believe.
So then again, I'll say to people, you know, how can water, when we know water finds its level, and I can test and observe that and show you it, but then they're going to tell me that it behaves differently. You know,
It'd be really cool if you kind of actually just randomly bumped into a theoretical physicist,
Well,
and he could kind of like come off with his stuff,
Well,
and then
I'm
you
gonna
could.
give you-
No, I'm completely.
I'm going to give you this card, and there's a guy who's with us who has an honours degree from Glasgow University in maths and physics. He knows that the shit that they told him is
Nonsense,
lies.
yeah, most of it's nonsense.
So there's guys and people coming forward
Most
to
of
talk
it's
about it now, because these institutions like NASA are being found out. They're producing nothing but.
I'm not a fan of
cartoons.
NASA anyway.
Well,
But I'm not a fan of any institution which is funded by the American.
Thank you, man.
You know, the American government. It's basically just a money-making thing.
Exactly.
You can't fail it.
$50 million
It just
a
needs-
day.
It needs, yeah, exactly.
That's
50
what
million
they
a day.
get. 50 a day they get.
Happy
50
days, man.
million. And all they give us is cartoons.
Should have gone into astronomy. Could have made some money, yeah.
Aye. I know I'm in the wrong game. You know. But-
Tax money.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean,
do you think now you're going to question the validity of
I've always
the Earth
questioned it.
being a sphere?
no, I haven't. I haven't.
Everything, to be honest.
I'm really a big cynic. You know, I've been reading David Icke books since
Nice.
David Icke. They were taking a piss off him on the Wogan show. But I've always said to people, I used to try and, when you first kind of find something out, you get very kind of, you're hyped up to
you
start
go
telling your
into
friends
it
and
and
stuff.
then blah,
But
blah.
now, I think as you get older, you just
Hold
say,
back.
no, it's not that I hold back. It's just that it's very difficult to. I think the best thing is you can sort of try and subliminally say certain things, and maybe someone's got to find they got to go on their own journey, you know.
Yeah.
Because if
Totally
they don't, a lot of people don't really want to. They don't want to know.
No.
They actually don't want to know.
But
They
the
want.
same-
They
yeah,
want to take the red pill. They don't want to know what's going on.
At the same time, we have so many generations who are indoctrinated into this
Yeah, of
belief. So why should real people like me sit back and let that happen?
We were talking about this.
You know,
Yeah, I understand.
you know-
We were talking about this. One of the beauties now for the youth now is that information is so much more accessible than it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to have to go to libraries to try and find these
Yeah.
things, and they don't hold them type of books.
Yeah.
But everything's accessible now online.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of things are changing. Certain things aren't gonna like. Certain things are gonna happen now whereby that couldn't have happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
about certain things like certain people couldn't have been elected before, but they
Yeah.
can now because of just certain information just so freely available, and it gives people that kind of like
there's so much media that people can be manipulated by.
media.
via
Media's always been the biggest
Of course it is.
manipulator
The TV.
of people. Yeah,
You know,
always.
TV. So when you ask people,
Always will.
why do they believe many of these things? They'll say, "I see it on the TV."
TV, yeah.
You know, and
It's
it's
not.
frightening.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. It's a sheep mentality.
Yeah.
It's like lemmings. they won't question certain things. Like, I mean, certain people say, you know, hollow Earth theory. Some people go with, like, the moon's hollow. It's a satellite. You know, I mean, a lot of these things, you look into them, you make your own assessment, and you come to your own conclusions. Yeah. But I used to try and pontificate and try and profess and say, you know, that's not right. You know, but. See, I just said to myself, I think I'm just going to have to leave people to their own devices.
Well, the method I use is a thing called the Socratic method. It's just
Socratic.
Ask questions. I don't tell anybody anything. I'll ask questions and try and lead
I noticed that you use your Socratic questioning. It's a good technique, because I think with that technique, what you do, people actually start questioning themselves.
Exactly.
And then they don't think you're imposing your opinion on them. So that is actually the best way of doing these kind of things.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Listen, guys, you know, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Been good. Been nice.
Thank you, my man.
Nice.
Thank you as well, buddy.
Good luck.
Thank you. Have we stopped?
Chris
and
Ken.
We stopped?
Chris and Ken. Yeah.